Go check out the After Party Hangover. Hashtag shut the fuck up for one.
We kiss the stars. We ride. We are your name. Desire.
Welcome to the After Party Hangover.
Today we kick things off with a Hail Ceizar, followed by our After Party Hangover interview with Sinikk and his woman. Enjoy the show.
I'm beyond all that fuck shit. Hey.
Hey, little mama, would you like to be my sunshine?
Hail Ceizar.
What up? It's your boy Julius_Caesar here. And this week, Mr. Tryon has asked me, why do girls with flat asses wear leggings? Probably the same reason bitches with no titties be wearing push-up bras. These hoes trying to get out there and get some. Look, I ain't mad at you if you got to work with what you got to work with. But bitch, don't be trying to put on some tight-ass leggings to try to scrunch that little pinch of booty meat you got. And then you trying to throw that long back on some crack at the club till 2 a.m. and he buying you drinks. And then you go home and that shit look like a goddamn ironing board. Fuck out of here with that bullshit. Look, you know you ain't got no ass. You ain't got no ass. Don't be wearing rompers. Don't be wearing leggings. I don't know, wear a longer skirt. Make a motherfucker think you got some ass. Lie to a bitch. Trick them. You know that, like the way men trick you into thinking they love you, then you give them the cheeks. Then they can kick your ass out. So, look, that's all I'm saying. Do what you got to do. Holla at your boy. You know where to find me. Them damn comments. East Coast.
Welcome to the After Party Hangover. I am your host, Mangria Fueled, and this is a show that talks about a show that talks about a show. Today's guest, he makes it a three-peat. He's the Don of the Sinikk Mafia, Sinikk_Chaos. However, he is not alone this time. He brought with him his lady, the Doness of the Sinikk Mafia, Mrs. Sinikk, Lauren Ann. How is it going, guys? How's your Saturday going so far?
How you doing? It's good.
Well, I have a list of corny questions I want to ask you, Lauren Ann, because I'm always fascinated to get the female perspective on this show. You are the fourth lady to appear on The Hangover. So I'd like to ask you, I can't imagine you were a wrestling fan to begin with, but if you were, how did you get into this crazy wrestling world?
Well, I was a wrestling fan to begin with. I have an older brother, so it was just me and him growing up, and he used to choke slam me onto the couch as a little girl, and all his friends would wrestle around me, and so that's kind of how I came into wrestling. I actually used to bring wrestling figures to school to play with the kids.
She's a fucking OG.
Yeah, so I've always been a wrestling fan.
What was it, though? Was it WCW or WWE, or you just flip-flopped?
It was mostly WWE.
WWE.
Yeah, I don't think she really got into WCW.
Yeah.
I understand. Well, after watching all that wrestling, did you keep up with it during your whole life, or did you fall off after high school until you met?
Yeah, I definitely fell off, and then once I met him, it brought me back into it.
Oh, I bet. We all know Nick's obsession.
Oh, obsessed.
I saved her from being a Cena fan. I never truly saved her. But
you're doing the
showed her
Lord's work, Nick.
He doesn't listen to me, so I told him when I ask him questions, I'm just going to start doing WWE entrances and play entrance music, and then maybe he'll pay attention.
Well, when you do watch wrestling up until now, let me ask you, do you have a favorite theme song of all time since you play wrestling themes already?
Baron Corbin. Say Baron Corbin.
No, ew. Favorite theme song? I would say of all time, Edge is my favorite wrestler, so I would have to say his.
Oh, nice. That is a very popular one amongst the Steel Real After Party. And understandably so. What about a wrestler of all time, of all your time watching wrestling? And you could say Nick if you want, but I mean, favorite WWE wrestler of all time?
I'm not even her favorite wrestler in the fucking backyard.
Shut up. Of all time for a male superstar, I would say Edge.
Edge. Is there a female that you like?
Of course.
Lita.
Nice.
Of all time, Lita. I mean, unfortunately, she's not wrestling anymore, but of all time, I would have to say her.
What about a favorite match? Is it a Lita match or an Edge match that's your favorite of all time?
That's a good question.
Good question.
Favorite of all time for a match? I don't know if it would be either of their. I don't know. It was at a pay-per-view. I can't think of which. I'm stuck at memory, but it was the Hardy Boys versus Edge and Christian. I know they'll probably wrestle each other a million times, but there was a specific pay-per-view match of theirs.
Was it with the Dudley Boys too?
I don't think so.
It might have been their first TLC match.
Yeah, it was. You're right, because it was definitely like a extra stipulation kind of match.
It was probably just a ladder match.
Yeah.
When she said the Hardy Boys versus Edge and Christian, I was thinking it was their ladder match over Trish Stratus. Remember? That was their very first ladder match.
You're a huge Trish Stratus fan, not really me.
Oh yeah, Stratusfaction, 100%.
Did you pop when she finally got in the Hall of Fame?
Yeah, everything popped. Her face popped, her plastic surgery popped. She ruined her natural beauty, goddammit.
Well, she got old.
Well, this is the question all the Steel Row After Party fans want to know, Lauren. Have you listened to an entire episode of the Steel Row After Party?
Oh, yeah, I've listened to multiple. I'm not going to lie. At first, I thought that they were a little stupid, which they are stupid. You don't go there for facts. So but I definitely, once we got into it, we take a lot of road trips. So every time we would listen to podcasts, and I think that they're probably the most entertaining. Like, they're just funny.
Well, that's good news, because now you just opened up a whole nother wing of questions.
Oh, God.
Killing it.
From listening to the Steel Row After Party, you already said you listened to it on road trips. What is your favorite segment? Do you have a favorite segment or moment that sticks in your brain whenever you think of the guys?
Don't say it. I swear to God. You're gonna hear more choking.
I know this is against popular opinion, but I do enjoy Jake's dad jokes.
Oh no.
I didn't hit her. That was me hitting my forehead. Just clarify that.
Oh man. Well, you're a minority, but that is funny.
Yeah, I do. I mean, I have to support the underdog, and Jake is the underdog.
That opinion isn't even popular in China.
Underdog is an understatement.
Yeah.
Sinikk, did you show her the roast?
I'm not mad. I'm just disappointed. What'd you say?
Did you show her the roast?
Dude, I didn't even get to check out the roast yet.
Oh, okay. I'm not going to spoil it, but there's a cameo, and someone else is a huge fan of Jake's dad jokes. I'm not going to spoil it, though. I'll let you check it out.
Man,
Was it this week's episode?
No, it was...
It
was a couple weeks ago. It was on The Hangover.
Yeah, it wasn't on the After Party. It was on the Hangover. She gets confused between the After Party and the Hangover.
Yeah, well, I just downloaded the Apple Podcast app on my phone, and I only listen to the Still Real After Party and the Bella Twins podcast. But I couldn't find the Still Real After Party podcast at first, but I eventually found it.
I haven't read anything on the Bella's podcast, but did you listen to the latest episode where Brian talks about his sack being exposed?
I did.
Can you inform us on what he said about that?
Yeah, I listen to their podcast every night when I'm cleaning after I put the baby to bed, and it was funny because Nick had come home and I was like, you have to let me tell you what Daniel Bryan said about his wardrobe malfunction. Well, he didn't know. He said as it was happening, he didn't know, and he was surprised that he didn't realize, because he said that for a man, that's a pretty sensitive area. You would feel a draft or something. And he didn't know. And when he walked backstage, Vince McMahon actually said to him, was concerned about the way he fell on his neck, more than his wardrobe malfunction. Nobody even mentioned that to him. They actually made him go get checked by doctors and didn't say anything about the wardrobe malfunction until he had gotten back to his hotel room, and his wife, Brie Bella, texted him, and she kind of told him, and he said, at first I was embarrassed, but then I thought it was just funny. because he was like, balls aren't like a sexual part on a man. So to me, like, this didn't mean anything to me. If it was a woman, it gets so sexualized. But for a man, everyone's going to be like, ew, like that's Daniel Bryan's balls, and no one's going to care to look it up.
I could just picture the conversation that he had later with Vince.
Yeah.
I like you, Daniel. You've got grapefruits, big grapefruits, and you showed it tonight in that ring.
I was
And I didn't even notice it when we watched it live. Like, I didn't notice it until after I saw it trending.
I didn't notice it at all either. And as I think all of us wrestling fans were thinking the same thing after Drew Gulak did that belly to back release suplex to Daniel and he landed on his neck. I think all of us were checking Twitter to make sure he wasn't dead.
Yeah, that was even Brie said, like, she didn't notice it either at first because all she was worried about was her husband and his neck. And then Nikki brought it up to Brie, and then she brought it up to him, and he didn't even know. He was like, I'm surprised I didn't feel that. Nobody said anything to me the whole time I was backstage.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that was actually a dragon suplex. So he had him in that full Nelson position.
He was like, he was completely standing up,
Yeah,
upside down.
You're probably right. It was scary to see him fall like that. I'm curious to know if they discussed that before the match. He's like, okay, Drew, I want you to toss me and make sure I land on my neck so I almost die. And Drew's like, okay, got it.
I thought about that too. Yeah, we were talking about that.
We were wondering if most of the match was kind of like a shoot, like you just do.
Yeah, because you're thinking, this is Daniel Bryan is the veteran. Drew Gulak is, has a long way to go. You would automatically assume that Daniel Bryan's the ring general. So they could have been calling that on the fly.
It's possible because they're both incredibly technical. And that match was the match of the night for me at Elimination Chamber. Did Nikki,
sorry, were there any other matches?
Yeah, exactly. Did Nikki say anything stupid because she's an airhead and she's like really sexual? Did she make fun of Daniel Bryan's nuts?
No, she always says other sexual things during her podcast, and then she corrects herself and is like, that sounds weird. Actually, what she did say was, because she was the one that told Brie about the wardrobe malfunction, she said, like, I texted you a picture of Brian's balls, and then she was like, wait, that sounds weird. And she, like, corrected herself.
I don't know if you caught this, but he made Botchamania.
Oh, he did? His nutsacks on Botchamania?
Yeah. They put it right in the middle. And they put over where his balls fell out a picture of the right to censor. I was dead.
Well, Lauren, I want to ask you your history on how you met Nick and your thoughts on when you found out he was a backyard wrestler. What were your initial thoughts?
Well, we met through my best friend was in a relationship with someone that knew Nick, and Nick was living in a different state at the time.
Yeah, I was a vocalist in a band, and I was very much in like the local music scene, doing like hardcore shows and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And like she said, her friend used to organize some of those shows, and her friend's boyfriend used to throw down kind of mosh for all my sets.
Yeah, so I think that when I first found out who he was, he had a girlfriend, but that didn't last very long. And
you never do.
And then I had messaged him on Facebook, and that was I made the first move, and that was kind of it. Then we just talked back and forth. He came to hang out with me, and that was it. We've been together for the past 4.5 years.
Facebook sweethearts.
Yeah.
Nick, did you have all your backyard wrestling stuff on your Facebook so she knew already, or did you just start to get into it when you guys started dating?
That is kind of a good question.
I don't think it was on your Facebook because I don't think I knew until you told me about it.
Yeah, definitely what she said.
Yeah. But honestly, I thought it was pretty cool. I mean, I've never heard of backyard wrestling before him, so I was interested to see what it was. And then when I went there, not only did the guys that are there treat me just like I was their sister, and still to this day I talk to them sometimes more than he talks to them, but just sitting there and watching, and I was part of some of the shows as an interviewer. It was just really cool and I was 8, 9 months pregnant in the snow, sitting out in the snow watching him wrestle backyard.
That was a good story.
Oh my God, what were you thinking when he's taking all these headshots and getting busted open and shit?
There was a specific one match that I remember, which was your match with Samael and Tim in North Carolina.
Oh shit!
And was it a death match?
It was a tornado tag team death match.
Yeah.
Good Lord.
And I was there, and I had our son there, and he had to have been like 2, 3 months old. Like, he didn't understand anything.
My dad was there. I just got to get this part out. My dad was there, and a couple of years ago, he lost his fucking mind and became a born-again Christian. And it was right around that time I invited him to what was called Best in the Yard 4.
Which is like the WrestleMania for backyard wrestling.
Yeah, it was more than our WrestleMania. It's like a Wrestle Kingdom. Basically, you take every company from all these different states, like 6 different companies from different states, and you put them all in one place in North Carolina. And my dad stood up when I got thrown flipping through a barbed wired board, and just cuts all over my arms and across my back.
Yeah, I think that was what I was going to say. That spot was
hilarious.
The hardest thing for me to, and I'm like, I'm with our son, and I'm like looking at him like, can I curse on this?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm like, you're such a fucking idiot. Like, and my face just like dropped, and I remember his 2 friends looked at me and were like, he's okay. Like, he's okay. You know what wrestling is about. And I was like, yeah, but he's just so stupid. Like,
Nick, you didn't prepare for that?
Yeah, he didn't tell me. So I think that, I mean, I knew it was a death match, so I know going into it, it's going to be a little more extreme, but I did not, I just did not know that was going to be, and that was probably hard. And then another thing was, I wasn't there because I was at home pregnant, but he went to a show in Pennsylvania, and he tried to blade, and it didn't go well, and he was apparently like drenched in blood, and they had to stop the match early, and he told everyone not to tell me. And I have a really close relationship with these guys after knowing them for all these years. And I remember on the way home, like, his friends were texting me, and they're like, Nick told us not to tell you, but we need to let you know.
You cut too deep, God damn it.
And I was just, I honestly, I think that didn't bother me as much because I wasn't there to watch it. So I was just like, whatever, you're an idiot. But if I was there, I would have freaked out.
I wanted to fuck my friend up. Like, where's your loyalty? You texted my girlfriend and said, yeah, hey, just don't watch it when it comes on.
Yeah.
Have you ever been a valet to Sinick's match, or is that against kayfabe for Jason Atlas's character?
I haven't, but I don't think we ever talked about it. Like, I did a lot of the backstage work I did other guys' face paint, and I did some of his, like, he would dye his hair and all these things, so I would do that. And I did interviewing, but I didn't like.
Yeah, if you look into the indies and you look at Dustin Reagan, he's got this Man of War gimmick, which is kind of like a God of War thing, like a
Kratos.
And but before I think he was in the indies at that point, but he was doing a yard match.
I think he was in the indies because I've done so many backyard guys' face paint before, and I was never nervous because it's just backyard wrestling. But with him, I was so freaking nervous. Like,
Orton taught him how to do the RKO properly.
Oh, wow.
So he's wrestled Cedric Alexander. He's really kind of gotten himself up there, and she was doing it. And when she was done, he was so fucking pleased by it. Like, it looked amazing.
Yeah, that was probably the best face paint I've ever done.
If in the future your child says, "Hey, Mom, I want to be a backyard wrestler just like Dad," what is your response going to be?
Oh, yeah, I'm totally down. I plan on being that house that has all the boys. Yeah, all the boys come over. They call me Mom. Like, I'm making snacks and dinner for all the kids while they're outside wrestling. Like, that's just kind of. I put it today when we were out with our son. I was like, I would love to be an all-boy mom. Obviously, I know that's something that you can't plan. But, like, I would, when we have future children, I would love them to all to be boys and just raise all these wrestlers and football stars and do whatever they. I'm so into sports, so I think that would be awesome.
I gotta say this, man. I scratched a lot of bad tickets, but I hit a big prize on this one.
Well, congratulations, sir. I have to imagine.
Oh, thank you.
I have to imagine that Nick, we're like-minded, obsessed with wrestling. You already have your kids' wrestling name picked out, the gear picked out, the gimmick. I'm pretty sure, right?
Something like that.
Can you give us a preview of what his name would be? Because I know you're creative with that shit.
I wouldn't change his first name. He's got a badass first name. We chose it for a reason. It was the first name we chose, and we both agreed on it right away. And we said, that's it. And his first name's Jackson.
Uh-huh.
So I think I made him in 2K19 because I had already gotten my character to the top and everything you can do. And I think I made him like Jackson Draven or something like that.
Nice. That's a good
Yeah, I
name.
like that.
And he's, I'm working my way towards not being such a mega pounder anymore, but he's such a skinny kid.
Yeah.
And I feel like he might stay that way. So I think he'd be a high flyer.
Oh, nice.
And if it runs in the family like I think it does, he's gonna have a flashy entrance.
Well, speaking of,
I am so about entrance and character.
well,
He
speaking
has so
of
much
that,
personality at 2 years old that I could only imagine.
Oh, yeah.
I'm curious, to keep it in the family, Lauren, have you ever thought about doing a match?
Well, when he was doing Backyard, if there were other girls or girlfriends or anything interested, I would have like done a women's division, and we talked about it, but there were no other females that were willing to do it, and I don't think that the guys were comfortable enough to wrestle a girl. And I mean, I've never like wrestled other than my brother throwing me around, so I wouldn't know how to take the bumps properly to not get hurt by a man.
I had a tough chick, and the rest were just kind of pussies and cunts.
Had you thought of a character if it was possible for you to wrestle?
We sort of did that in two.
Yeah,
That's what you could experiment with. You could experiment a lot with 2K.
Yeah, we made a character for me in 2K, and I think her, like everything about her was kind of purple because I dye my hair all different colors all the time. Kind of like Jeff Hardy. And
So she was like a metalhead country girl named Violet.
yeah, at the time my hair was purple, so I think we made her purple, and like her gear was like black leather.
Yeah, and like a little bit of spikes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And you came out with a makeup mirror, like you were just like the contour girl, but you fuck people up in the ring.
Yeah, because realistically what I do, like what I went to school for was makeup, so we tore that into a little bit.
We got on a trampoline once, and it took me 20 minutes to teach her a DDT properly. But after that, she's got like these fucking hammer fists and everything. I think she might even do better at MMA. She's more of a shoot fighter.
Oh, jeez. Well, I gotta say, Nick, you did hit the jackpot with this one. A woman who's interested in wrestling and 2K games. That's pretty badass.
Thing, dude. Yeah.
Out
Tell
of
me about it.
curiosity, what was her finisher on the 2K game?
Probably the rack attack. I think it was the original one before Nikki Bella couldn't do it the way she did originally because she fucked up her neck.
Yeah.
Might have been the rack attack.
Yeah, I think it was because I'm a pretty big Bella's fan.
That's the one chink
And
in her
everything
armor,
she
Nick.
did. What?
I said that's the one chink in her armor, Nick. She's a Bella's fan.
Yeah, I know.
No, I'm just kidding. My wife is obsessed with them too.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not even as into their wrestling as I am their reality, like their life, their wine. I love wine, so they have a wine line, all that kind of stuff.
She's drinking wine right now.
Have you tried the Bella wine?
I haven't, but that's something that I want for Mother's Day, so we'll see.
I'm really mad that my relapse wasn't on a little bit of the bubbly.
It's here in Fresno, but it's $50 fucking a bottle. And I looked at my wife and I was like, nope.
I know, yeah, I looked at it on their website. It's pretty expensive.
Better sell the couch.
Well, did you happen to check out this week's SRAP, Lauren?
I haven't. I don't know if you have, but I haven't heard it.
Yeah, I got one thing to say about that episode.
Okay, hold on. Let me officially get us into it.
Yeah.
Let us speak about the Steel Real After Party, episode 115, Stuffed Corona Crust. We kick off this episode with a Donald Trump, John Laurinaitis intro saying, "Everyone, calm your shit. We got this." Did you get a kick out of that, Nick?
Oh, absolutely.
Jake's Trump is so fucking entertaining. I like Jake's Trump impression and his Deaf Lars, and of course Zanka's Deaf Lars and John Laurinaitis are fucking hilarious as well.
Oh yeah, I could just picture Jake's stupid face when he's doing Trump too.
You got to do the hand movements too when you're talking as Trump.
The little hand movements.
Yeah. Well, speaking of Jake, speak of the devil, the micropene devil. He actually told us a story of him going out. He finally stopped hibernating in his bathtub, and he went out with his friends to the bowling alley. But unbeknownst to him, he stumbled upon a furry convention.
A furry convention?
You're gonna have to break that down for her. I only know
I know
this.
what that is because of TikTok.
Oh, okay. Well, have at it.
Furries are freaky. They're just a bunch of people who dress up in weird, like Winnie the Pooh costumes, and they fuck, which is extremely creepy. I don't know what happened in their childhoods, but Jake went there to make fun of people in the him and his friends were in the karaoke bar of the bowling alley, and I guess that's what they do. They make fun of people that sing, which I would do the same thing. But he said everybody outside of that karaoke bar was dressed as a furry, and he was talking to the cashiers and everything. He goes, "What the hell's going on here?" And he goes, "Oh yeah, it's a furry convention." And he goes, "What? Why is that even a thing?"
I just gotta say out loud what she just whispered to me. Jake has friends.
Hey, he talks about them, but I've never seen them. They could be imaginary.
I mean, I can't pick on Jake because when he talks, sometimes I just relate to him.
Yeah, she's like, it's kind of like being a Paul Heyman guy. Like, she's a Jake girl. I'm a Zanka guy.
But no, because I like Zanka too. Like, yeah, sure, Zanka Sheriff 2020. But like, when Jake talks about like taking his bath with his ice cream and like getting away from people,
she relates to that as a woman though. Like, can we just emphasize that?
You know, because Andy's woman, she likes Jake as well. So I guess Jake has the strong female audience.
The ladies.
I know Brittany, who I had on a couple months ago, is a Sam girl. She's obsessed with him. But I just reminded myself, Lauren, we are very entertained when you post questions in the Instagram section of the show. So if you could please keep doing that. Zanka always gets excited when a woman asks a question as well.
I've asked a couple. I think that's the hard thing for me is like I don't know what to ask all the time, and then Nick goes crazy with his hashtags, and I'm like, I can't fucking think of that many hashtags like you can.
You can literally.
I write out long questions because I know Jake hates it, and I started capitalizing the first letter of each word because I know that Zanka appreciates it, but hashtags are what it's all about.
I made that one about Sonya Deville, and I think Zanka or Jake were like, "Oh, good for you, Sinikk."
Yeah, I mean, you could literally ask them anything. I mean, we talk about just any subject you want. You could even bring up, you guys think the Bellas are hot, or would you drink their wine? I mean, you could literally ask them anything you want. Movies, TV, gross shit. I mean, they're down for anything. So the more the merrier that you bring to the Instagram questions.
And I think we only got one frequent female, which is Brittany Bomber. So to have my fiance jump in there, it kind of puts a little more into it.
Yeah, I always see when they post it on Tuesday, and he's usually at work, so like I'll text him and I'll be like, Instagram questions are out, but I don't write one myself. I just warn him so he gets his in.
Mr. On Time.
Well, after that story, Zanka threw his 2 cents in there, and he said, should we switch your gimmick from being a pedophile to a furry? And Jake said, I'd rather be a pedophile.
Oh my god.
Yeah, that got dark real fast.
I jumped into the Hall of Fame chat and said, did you guys hear what Jake just said? We beat him up pretty good about it, but they then moved on to discuss the empty arena shows of Raw and SmackDown, What are your 2 cents on this, Sinikk? Do you like them? Do you think they're weird or what?
I listened to Bully Ray's perspective on it on Busted Open, and I guess in the moment I was like really agreeing with him. Like, they put out this product when NBA and XFL and all these other things are shutting down. You got to commend them for it.
Right.
However, my whole opinion changed on Wednesday night because
We're not on AEW yet.
I don't care. They learn from every terrible mistake.
Yes, I agree.
Having the heels and the faces out there, and MJF and Shawn Spears betting on the matches and everything, and I'm just like, where the fuck were you, WWE? Like, everything seems so awkward and painful, and the grunt noises are cool when there's a crowd, but when you just hear, yeah!
And it echoes.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
go for it, Lauren.
I just think that, like he was saying, like, yeah, you have to appreciate them for putting some kind of content out there for people to watch because there's no sports on during this time. But like, if it's a 3-hour show and you're posting, matches from the Royal Rumble fucking a month ago or 2 months ago, you should just cut down the show to an hour. If you don't have the content or you don't have the people there, then you shouldn't have a 3-hour show watching matches that we could watch on the network or on YouTube anytime. It makes no sense.
I don't
want to watch this match 600 times because they already do that. They're already booking the same people to wrestle the same matches constantly and constantly and constantly.
And I guess like Nick said, they learn from all the mistakes of the previous week. Make this AEW show, I know we're not onto it yet, but it might be my favorite AEW show since it started. But
oh yeah.
Moving on for that, in case either of you two get the coronavirus, Zanka has the cure for that, right, Nick?
Oh yeah.
What's his cure?
Zanka's cure for coronavirus is eating more ass.
Oh.
You get yourself.
And don't forget to fly fast when you eat that.
Don't forget to fly.
Shout out to Savage. How is it like over there, you guys, with this whole corona shit happening? Is it getting scary out there or what?
Yeah, we actually just got our first confirmed case in our town today, but like we don't have nearly as much as we're from New York, so our family is like completely being locked down, like can't leave their house, and most of their jobs are closed. So it's more scary for them. But like our son's school's closed and we're basically just stuck in the house. Like today was the first day we got out and we took him to the park and there was nobody there.
And he looked like such a little badass. He had his sunglasses on and his shark bucket hat, riding his Spider-Man quad, ready to just sail off into the sunset like a fucking boss.
Are you guys stocked up on supplies?
Yeah, I mean that's the craziest part is like when you go into the grocery stores and there's absolutely nothing. Like, we still have a baby, so we get diapers and all those kind of wipes and all those kind of things. And when we went, there was like almost nothing. Like there must have been like 6 packs of wipes on the shelves, and Nick was like, just get them all because you don't know when we're gonna be able to get them again.
I saw this one guy who just gave me the vibe like, I don't normally do this, but and I was like, the guy that doesn't normally do this is like getting mad jugs of water, so let's get mad jugs of water.
Well, over here, one of our priests of the Catholic Church was throwing elbows trying to get some fucking Tylenol. So a lot of people are stepping outside their character. This is getting into like Walking Dead territory where people are fighting over fucking supplies. But
yeah, like we couldn't find any Tylenol here for our son, and my mom lives in Pennsylvania, and she had to mail me like 5 boxes of baby Tylenol just so like we had it because there was nothing anywhere here.
And nobody wanted to fuck with that priest. Like God is his manager. God is his Paul Heyman. Like, do you really want to fuck with that?
I'm pretty sure he had a switchblade and his crucifix.
You just press the button and
that's
right. Comes out.
I went to Walmart the other day and you gave me your knife and you were like, take this with you. God forbid somebody fucks with you.
Oh yeah, my Punisher knife or my Scorpion knife.
I'm
just afraid. I've built such like a nice relationship with this cat And it's going to be a dark day if I ever have to, like, use her to wipe my ass.
Ew, what?
Hey,
You know?
man, if push comes to shove, you can always take a shower.
Yeah, what about fucking shower?
What if the water gets turned off? Then you got to wipe your ass with the
You
cat.
have 8 gallons of fucking water in the kitchen.
She looks so afraid.
Yeah, because you're a fucking creep. What the fuck was that?
You know what's funny is that the toilet paper and the water were gone first before like all the food and Tylenol. So these people either shit a lot or they're super dehydrated because we just bought a water filter, so we're good to go.
Yeah, that's what I was talking with my brother, and he is in New York, and he was like, people are stocking up on toilet paper. He's like, I'm a grown ass man. Like, if I fucking shit myself and I have no toilet paper, I'll take a shower.
Yeah.
He's like, you don't have Tylenol. Like, if you get a fucking fever, you need something to reduce your fever.
And this comes in steps. It's like, eat, shit, wipe your ass. If you don't have anything to eat, you don't have anything to shit.
Yeah.
But you're just wiping your ass for fun.
Yeah.
As a recreational
It's
sport,
crazy.
I guess.
Well, moving on from this Corona shit because it's depressing, and I pray for your guys. Hopefully this blows over sooner rather than later. Zanka talked about the Undertaker looking like he borrows people's legs so he can walk. I thought that was pretty funny. That was the second place LOL line of the week, but the first place LOL line of the week this week was Zanka was bragging about a certain skill of his. Apparently, he's the fastest finger buttholer in the West. Sheriff Zanka, fingering them buttholes.
Oh, yeah.
Jake was talking about sandwiches during the Facebook questions, and he mentioned that he does not like lettuce. So has he been lying to Julius Caesar this entire time?
It's
How dare
That could be an episode by itself. We should do an episode where he's on trial.
Well, if we do put him on trial, we have something else against him. Apparently, he set the record for saying 100% this episode. Sticks Adam in the Hall of Fame chat said that he said 100% at least 10 times this entire episode this week. Did you notice that at all? I didn't notice it at first, but I went back and listened to it, and my God.
Yeah, I would have had to go back and listen to it, too. I didn't catch that.
Yeah.
But shame.
Shame on you, Jake. There's other percentages. And now, the SRAP cameo at the end of the episode. Did you show Lauren the cameo?
Did.
yeah.
Right beforehand.
What are your guys' thoughts on that?
She said the same thing as me. She goes, oh my God, Zanka has a badge.
Yeah, that was the first thing I noticed.
Well,
Yeah, we died about Goldberg and the coronavirus.
Yeah, I think that the whole Goldberg shit was just. Don't even get me started on Goldberg and the Fiend.
if you guys could buy a cameo from Jake and Zanka, what would you have them say?
It's a good question.
That is a good question.
I don't think I could do anything to humiliate Jake. He if
He humiliates himself.
if I don't have shame, I don't. What's the lower word than no shame?
Yeah, I don't know.
No dignity?
No dignity. Yes.
He sends us pictures from the
Dignity,
bathtub, by the
dickless
way.
Jake.
Every
What did you
time,
say?
every time he takes a bath, he sends us a picture of it in the Hall of Fame chat.
Wait, wasn't there a photo posted on the Still Real After Party Instagram story, and like they blurred out the face though, so like we couldn't tell if it was Jake, but it was a man in a bathtub, and
Yep.
you were like, "Is that Jake?" And I was like, "I don't know."
That was my LOL line of the week. I found a random picture. I googled fat guy in bathtub, and that's what came up.
Okay, so it wasn't Jake. Okay.
I found an editing app that let me pixel out his face because I don't know who the fuck that was, but I just used that for the LOL line of the week.
That's funny.
Oh, you could have kept that going.
It was, oh man, when he said that opened the floodgates. We were all over his ass in that Hall of Fame chat, man. Caesar, my God, he made fun of Jake so much. And Styx, like, it sounds like Styx legitimately hates Jake in that chat room. It's fucking funny, dude.
Which brings me to my promotion. First of all, make sure you get your Sinikk Mafia merch. Second of all, Sinikk Chaos Hall of Fame 2020.
I am your advocate for that. You are the top of the list for the Hall of Fame, and you will be able to witness all the bullshit we talk in that fucking chat room. It is worth it. And Sinikk, you
I'm
will
looking forward.
definitely go in. I will make sure of that.
Actually, at the very end of the year last year, I think it was actually Jake putting me over saying that he's going to make sure that, he's like, oh, well, Cynic Chaos is a shoo-in for next year.
Definitely. You and Matthew JH are definitely going in. By the way,
My homie.
the Sinikk Mafia shirt is available on shop.spreadshirt.com/SteelRow Afterparty today and tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen. You get 20% off. So go pick you up a Sinikk Mafia t-shirt. And Sinikk, if you purchase one, post that shit and tag the boys in it.
Oh, hell yeah. Now that I know about the sale, Jake's probably going to message me way too late to promote it. So now thank you that you did. I can promote it on TikTok.
There you go, man. Well, we reached the end of the episode. Thank you, Lauren, for joining us. It was very entertaining. Do you two have anything you want to plug or say before we let you go?
I mean, you could always follow her on Instagram at LaurenAnn21.
I don't even know what the fuck my Instagram name is. Yeah, it's Lauren Ann with 4 N's, 21.
Yeah, I didn't want to mention her Instagram name because I didn't know if you wanted a bunch of creeps like trying to add her or not, Nick.
Yeah. All the Indians sending pictures of polka dot bikinis. That becomes a big problem. You could edit that out if you need to.
No,
I edit shit doesn't go down.
I edit nothing.
Well, other than that, I could at least plug, motherfuckers, get a TikTok. I don't care if you make any videos. Just make an account and check out my shit.
And that name is?
Cult of Chaos 13.
Cult of Chaos 13 on TikTok, ladies and gentlemen. He is Sinikk_Chaos as well on Instagram if you want to follow him. He posts a lot of entertaining shit. You can check out his backyard wrestling career at
YouTube. You could actually probably go to The Disease 666.
Jason Atlas is his alter ego along with Sinikk. Thank you two for being on here. Thank you everybody for listening. And as always, all hail Linda's Bush.